Hi, I'm John Cash, and welcome to John Cash Ministries. We're in the book of Psalm. We're looking at verse 20, or chapter 20, verse 6 and 7. This is a psalm from a guy that was kind of famous. His name was King David, really the greatest king to ever rule Israel, and many would argue the greatest king to ever rule the earth. And he says in the book of Psalms, verse 20, or chapter 20, verse 6 and 7, "Now this I know, the Lord saves his anointed. He answers him from his holy heaven with the saving power of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God." I like the way it starts, where it says, "This I know." Let me ask you something. What do you really know for sure? What do you have going on in your life where you absolutely are saying, "I'm convinced of this," or "I'm convinced of that"? Someone came along and said, or argued with you, like, "Nope, I'm convinced of it. I know it from the depths of my heart." Here, this great king, King David, says, "This I know." He was willing to die on this hill. He was sure of it. Folks, as we look at what he knew, and it's all about God, understand that God doesn't want you to understand this concept. That's not what he wants. He wants you to know this concept. He wants you to live this concept. He wants you to trust him and trust in this concept. So what's the concept? The Lord saves his anointed. Or in other words, the Lord blesses his anointed. Do you want the blessings from God? Well, you could literally pray every day for the rest of your life, "God bless me, God bless me, God bless me." But that's not going to get God to bless you. There are specific things that God says he will bless. And the first thing it says that he's going to bless and save is his anointed. So you need to be anointed by God. What does the word anointed mean? Well, first thing to understand is that if you're anointed by God, you are filled with the Holy Spirit of God, part of the Trinity. Okay? So, are you filled with the Holy Spirit? Is the Holy Spirit comfortable inside of you? Is the Holy Spirit living your life through you? So if the Holy Spirit is doing that, guess what? You are anointed. So God will save and bless and create a victorious life in the person that is anointed by him. So if you want victory in your life, you will get that victory by being anointed by God. That's the first concept here. He answers him from his holy heaven. So God's going to answer the prayer of the anointed one, the person who is filled with the Holy Spirit. So that's a big one. You want God to answer your prayer. You want to live a victorious life. You want God to save you. He says, "I'll do these things, but I will do them for this particular group or class of people." And that would be people who are anointed by him. And then it says, with the saving power of his right hand, he will do this. So he's powerful enough to do it, if you believe it. And then he says, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Let me ask you something. What have you placed your trust in? Do you trust in the size of your bank account? Do you trust in your job or the power and prestige that you have? Where have you really placed your trust? And God is saying here, some trust in chariots and some in horses. See, chariots and horses would signify a person who was rich, and it would signify a person who was powerful. And God's saying, I don't want you to trust in the things that make you rich and wealthy and things that make you powerful. I want you to trust in God. Look, King David was a very rich, powerful man, but he did not place his trust in the things of the world. He placed his trust in the things of heaven. And that is God's greatest desire for you to place your childlike faith and trust in him. And he will give you victory. in your life.